Oh well, hi everyone. This video is just going to have a look at the installation of a MAN Provent 200 oil catch can for the Holden Colorado, and this is for the LTZ Trailblazer Z71 Duramax 2.8L diesel from 2017 onwards. So this is a kit from Western Filters in Australia via Trade Me, and this is what you get. Looks pretty good. This is specific for the model of vehicle that I've just listed off, and so basically, you know, it's all here. You've got the catch can itself, you've got the mounting bracket, you've got the specific hose connections, and then you've got hardware, discharge hose, instructions, and the all-important horsepower sticker that goes on the back window. So we'll have a look at the various stages of this install as we get into it. So stay tuned. Okay, so I've just popped the hood and engine bay, pretty standard, what you'd expect to see under here for this model. So my understanding is that the catch can goes in over here, bracketry off the off your coolant brackets over here, and then various hoses and everything get hooked up to all your intake stuff, and your breather pipe stuff comes out of here. So it's going to be interesting to see how we get on with that install. Not 100% sure where it's going yet, but I guess it'll fit. Let's take a look. So first things first, just take off your engine cover from here. So just easy as take out the oil fill cap, take that off, and then just lift your engine cover off. That's just a press fit. Put that back on in the meantime. You don't want anything going down there. And then over in here, the first step to do is to take out the bracket bolts, as you can see down here, one there and one over there. So you've got to remove those. That's the first thing, and then we can put the new bracket on over top of that, I believe, and so I'll show you that when we get there. So just removing these two bolts, they are 10mm. So if you can't find your 10mm, go and buy another one, and then you can promptly lose that one once you've done this job. Otherwise, use some vice grips and a big hammer, or whatever else you've got available. So through the magic of video, you don't get to see all of the frustration in getting those out. Sort of about 1/16 of a turn at a time, given the tools that I've got. So yeah, pretty slow process to remove. It's going to be fun getting them all back in with the new bracket. Anywho, here we go. This is the hardware that has come out. This is the hardware that's going back in with this bracket right here, and it's got to go through there. So give me another hour and a half and I'll check back in with you and let you know how it's all going. Oh my goodness, so this is not an hour and a half later, but some time later. Yeah, look, I would recommend that you get someone with small hands, wife, girlfriend, small children that are capable of holding tools, so that you can actually get the new bolts back in on those, and to get that bracket and this bracket here in place, because she's tight in there, fellas. A 10mm ratchet spanner would do you really well on this one. And look, just when you are getting those bolts in down there, don't lean on this, because that's going to push the bracket tree back down and you won't get the holes lined up, and etc, etc. So just take care of that. Give yourself some time. You know, you look at YouTube and they say it only takes this long. Well, it doesn't. It'll take you longer, so be patient, you'll get there. So the bracket's in. There's an obvious thing I can see here that could be an issue, and I don't know, but from the turbo. So well, yeah, from the turbo out to the intercooler there, that could be in the way for the drain tube at the bottom. I don't know. Well, hopefully there's some adjustment on the brackets for the actual bracketry for the catch can itself. So we'll just keep going, having a look. There is a bit of, as you can see, look, there's some clearance around your coolant reservoir there. They do suggest that if it is rubbing or whatever, that you can just bend this. It's fairly soft, and you can see that it's fairly soft, just to get it away, to stop anything rubbing in there, because the last thing you want is to rub a hole in your coolant reservoir. And get a light so you can see what you're doing. Anyhow, so far we're getting there. Okay, back at it here. So I'm just doing a test fit essentially. You can rotate the catch can and the bracket to get the outlets, inlet and outlet, in the right orientation, obviously in this case towards the engine. I've also got the drain hose connected to the bottom, but as you can see, look, things aren't quite lining up. I am stuck for a bit of space here between this air intake down to the turbo. Also below there you've got the bottom hose that comes out of the turbo, which connects onto here. Just due to the curved configuration of that, it comes up, sits underneath this catch can. You can't quite see, but it sort of restricts it down and underneath there as well. So yeah, not quite sure what we'll do here. You can see the difference of the can to the bracket. That's where it naturally wants to sit without forcing it. So I don't really want to modify stuff, but you know what, I'm gonna have to, because it's a snug fit. It's not quite going to get there, I'm afraid. But then flow on effect is, you know, is this top tube that I've been supplied long enough. It's got to come from here out through here and along, bends and turns into that. Is that going to be long enough? I'm going to have to go and sit down with a beer and have a think about this, and I'll get back to you. Right, I'm back with, after having some refreshments and doing some thinking. So in here, because it naturally sits here, because it naturally sits here, I'm going to make a spacer to fit in there between the bracket of the catch can itself and the metal bracket that is in place, and that is going to be in the order of, I don't know, 12 mils or something like that. So I'm going to use a bit of nylon plastic for that. You know, we'll figure that out. Yeah, it just sits in there reasonably nicely. It doesn't put any pressure on anything. Mind you, I am just pulling this out of the way currently, just to relieve everything so I can actually get the bolts straight through and into here. So we'll see how that goes. Once that's on, I'll get all of this bolted in, and the drain hose and everything in the correct position underneath, and then I'll release that pressure. There's not a lot on there, it's just pulled it over a wee bit. I'll release that off and see what happens and whether we've got anything rubbing or whatever, because the last thing you want, lads, is chafing when you're hot. Okay, here's my two spacers that actually make up to 14mm. Thanks to the old nylon chopping board from the kitchen, and needed a new one anyway. I've gone ahead and got some longer M8 stainless steel bolts that go into the riv nut already in the bracket. I've got some extra stainless locking washers as well, spring washer, to go on over top of the washer that's got to go on as well. So anywho, that is it. What I'm going to do now is fit that on, thread the drain tube down where it needs to go, generally get the catch can in place over there, just check for fit, etc. I'll let off this tension strap as well, just to allow this to relax, and we'll just see how much clearance we've got or not, and what's touching and what's going to rub and chafe and all that sort of thing, and we'll see how we might need to deal with that in a minute. Right, so I've got this mocked up in here, but realised that due to the spacers that I've got, I had some 35mm stainless bolts, but I'm going to need them longer because they only go in about 1 or 2 turns on the thread. So go for about 40s or longer. You could get away with 45s if you can get them. So I'll come back to you once I've got a couple of those. I now have the catch can all snugged in place, everything all done up there. It actually doesn't seem to be rubbing, it is touching down here a wee bit. I have slackened off that strap that I had there. I think it's something I just need to keep an eye on for rubbing on things, but you know, it's not too bad. It clears the turbo pipe out to the intercooler. And I've also run the drain for this down inside the wheel arch down through here, so you can see it just comes over the top of the strut tower. I've put an extra cable tie here, just there's a spare bolt hole through here, so don't know what that's for, but put there especially for that piece of cable tie to hold the drain hose in place. And then further down you can see I've cut the drain hose short, put the tap on the end, and that's the supplied bracket tree to hold the end in place, and that'll just, you know, that'll just annoy me. It'll just do this, and it'll just be really flippin' annoying when you're going along, and then I'll forget what that noise is and be looking for it for 6 months. That's the way it goes. So yeah, reasonably tidy, out of the way. Yeah, okay, so back out here, what we've got to do now is put on the 2 hoses, replace that one onto here, and then have the out hose come up here back into this one. So I'll show you when all that's done. Then we'll put the engine cover back on, and hopefully it just all looks like it was meant to be there. Happy days. So while I've got that top hose off, I just wanted to show you why I'm putting this on, to capture all these this gas and the gas and dirty air and stuff. Let's just have a look at that. Look at that. That's what's coming. That's what's getting pumped out of here back into here to go back down through your turbo. So, you know, let's have a look at this end. Yeah, not quite so bad, but you know, you can see it's all wet around there, and that's all going to get collected by the filter in there, and I can drain it out. The other thing you can see down here is on the intercooler pipe here. You can see there's just, you know, you start seeing some oil staining down through here. So that's another reason I just wanted to do this, so I'm not gunking up my intercooler as well. Yeah, this truck has done 93,000 Ks now. So sort of that's what it looks like at 93,000, but who knows what it looks like inside. Hopefully it's not too crusty. One day, the next job, I'll actually take these pipes off, intercooler pipes and everything off, all the way over here as well. Take off these here into the intake, and give them all a good clean out. But that's not today's job, because I've just about had enough of this one. And here we have finished product. Not quite, I've just got to trim some cable tie ends here, just cable tying all that together. I'll put the cover back on. Yeah, it all seems to work reasonably well. That's access for that. Change that filter's not too bad. I can just unclip this water line and pull that back out of the way, wind that off, change the filter when I need to service it, and otherwise everything is on. And I'll just while I've got you here, before you go home, just have a look at this. So yeah, that's it there. Yeah, all done. That was not, you know, it's not hard to do. It's a bit more labour intensive than you might imagine, just in terms of it's just getting this filter housing, catch can housing, to actually just get it fitting where it naturally sits. Make yourself some colourful spaces for the bracket, you know, a couple of extra longer bolts to go through into the back here, into the riv nuts, but otherwise it actually goes together pretty well. So yeah, now let's just see how that performs over the next 10,000 K and see what it collects. Alright, that'll do for this time. Catch you all in another one. See ya.